Hey guys, Infinite, and today we're playing Team Deathmatch on Rundown. I was actually thinking a lot about what to talk about before I did this commentary, because pretty much everything's been spoken about regarding gameplay, and I've done quite a few commentaries and talked about a lot of personal interest and stuff like that. So I figured in this commentary I'd talk about just sports in general and my opinions on them, my favorite teams, stuff like that. And today I'm going to go through baseball, hockey, and football. Baseball is going to be kind of brief because we're in the playoffs and there's really not much going on there. But in the comments too, I'd also like you guys to let me know what your favorite teams are. And if you guys want me to talk about anything specific in a future commentary, let me know. So here we go. Baseball, I'm actually quite surprised about the playoffs, how they've been turning out. Not the teams that are left and have made it to the ALCS and the NLCS, but how the games have been turning out. Like, I know the pitchers that are in it are dominant. I mean, you got Holiday, you got Cliff Lee, you got Lincecum, Kane, CC. You got a lot of dominant pitchers, but I didn't think they'd be this dominant. Like, Roy Halladay threw a no-hitter with one walk, almost a perfect game, and then he threw a perfect game this season. Like, that's crazy. That guy is so good. I wish the Yankees picked him up during the preseason, or off-season. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to tell you guys. Obviously, from that comment, you could tell I'm a Yankees fan. Been a big Yankees fan. Probably a Yankees fan before I was a fan of anything else, because my family kind of like forced baseball on me before I got into any other sports. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for baseball. I think the Yankees have a really good shot this year, but they're going to have to do that three-man rotation thing like they did last year, and hopefully it can work out again. Pettit's always great in the playoffs, so. Moving on. Football, another great start for me there. I'm a big Jets fan. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that because for some reason, even I live in New York, and everyone hates the Jets. Even in New York, I mean, Giants are the dominant team in New York. So, but I am a big Jets fan, and putting all my bias aside, I think they are one of the best teams in the league right now. I think the three best teams in the league are in the AFC. I'd say, surprisingly, the Steelers are a lot better than I thought they would. 3-1 without Roethlisberger is insane. Their defense is so good. Probably better than the Jets at this point. Reeves hasn't gotten back to full strength yet, but so I think the Steelers and the Ravens. Ravens, self-explanatory. I mean, their defense has been good forever. Flacco's starting to come around, and they got Anquan Bolden, so and Ray Rice is great. But yeah, so those are the teams. Those are the teams I think are the best in the league. NFC, like I said, those teams are all AFC teams. NFC's like pretty much struggling this year. The teams that they thought to be the strongest aren't doing shit. I mean, you got the Vikings 1-3. You got the you got Dallas 1-3. But something tells me one of those teams is gonna rise to the top of their division, or not to the top, but at least get in. I think Minnesota has a chance to rise to the top. Because they're wait, who's in Minnesota? I think Minnesota's with Green Bay, and then Dallas is with Dallas's division's tough. They got the Eagles, they got the Redskins. One more good team. I'm drawing a blank right now, but bottom line is those divisions are all tough, and none of the teams are living up to their expectations. So I think even though the Vikings and Dallas started out 1-3, the leaders of their divisions are only 3-2. So I think they could definitely turn it around and win their divisions. And I think the NFC is going to be totally wide open. I don't think you're going to have many teams over 10, 11 wins in the NFC. So it's been a really interesting year for football because outside of the teams I've talked about, no one's really showed signs of dominance. So, some people like that, some people don't. In my case, I don't really care because I'm a Jets fan and they're dominating. But another team too, I think it's going to be a sleeper team that's going to be pretty damn good. The Titans, because you have Chris Johnson on your team, you have a chance of winning no matter what, first off. And after forcing the run, their first few games, and Chris Johnson getting beat to shit. Like, I've never seen the man get hit that hard in my life. It's actually scary he's going to get injured because he's my favorite player. But after those first few weeks, they've actually come to the conclusion that they are better off passing for their first drive or two and trying to succeed with that first, because these teams are going to expect runs to begin with. If they could succeed with the pass a little bit and keep the defense guessing, they're still never going to ever commit fully to pass. But once they get that pass commitment to a degree, if Chris Johnson runs and not the whole defense is watching him, he could go for 80 yards every single play. He's that explosive. So if Vince Young can keep it together, I think the team has a lot of potential. Their defense is up there too. I think they have one of the better defenses in the league also. Again, I'm a little bit biased there because Titans are my second favorite team, but because of Chris Johnson. But like I said, the league is very wide open this year. Usually at this point of the season, you could kind of tell who's going to be doing good, but you can't tell anything right now. I mean, the freaking Cardinals, who don't even have a starting quarterback right now that is really like a definite beat the friggin' Saints. Saints look like shit. I've been telling people this forever. The Saints aren't gonna they're not gonna do what they did last year. They were a lucky team last year. No one looked at the final scores of all their games. They won in the last second of all their games. I never was a big fan. I like Drew Brees. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but their defense was always overrated. And as good as Brees is, they don't finish drives. Reggie Bush has a broken leg or something. And they're just going to be in trouble. I think they'll probably squeeze into the playoffs, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl team at all. Oh shit! I actually only have like a minute left. So I said, yeah. So I'm going to move on from football because I want to talk a little bit about hockey. Hockey's really not the fan favorite ever, but I'm a pretty big fan of hockey. Not as much as other sports, but I'm a pretty big fan of hockey, and I follow it and try to watch almost every Devils game. Like, from that, you could tell I'm obviously a Devils fan, and I like hockey, and I think it requires a ton of skill that people overlook. I mean, I don't know if you ever tried ice skating, but it's not the easiest thing. I could ice skate pretty well, but I can't stop, and to do that while doing what they do, even the whole idea of fighting on them, I couldn't. I've seen people who can't even keep their balance on foot during a fight, never mind on ice skates. Those guys are really talented, but I just wanted to touch briefly on hockey because the season just started, and it's an 82-game season, or something like that, 81, 82, I'm not sure, and you really can't say much about it, but I'm hoping the Devils do great, and this gameplay is going to end in like 2 seconds, so like I said in the comments, tell me about your favorite teams and any opinions on what I said, because I always like talking about sports in the comments. And also, please like this video. I always forget to say that. Please like this video to help me out somehow. And also in the comments, if you want me to talk about anything specific, leave that. Alright, see you guys later.